All right, guys, before I put anything else on this tub, I'm gonna throw my accessories on, such as my rear hitch for pulling my second sled. Just make it a lot easier to put this on before, you know, we get the canvas on. And what I really like about these is OTTER pre-molds all your drill holes and your drill points. So I just got to drill through, bolt this on quick, and I can move on to the next step. So it's really nice to throw on some of your accessories before you finish your build. All right, guys, so while I take a break, I got my lovely assistant putting together the OTTER accessories, such as the hitch pivot and the hitch. The hitch pivots are a great accessory. They make life so much easier, especially for what I do. I don't have to take my hitches on and off to get them in the pickup truck or in my trailer. All I do is just pull a couple pins and flip the hitch right up, easy stow. The other good thing about the hitch pivot is when you're going over rough terrain, instead of your straight hitch being connected to your shanty and your shanty bouncing around, your pivot will allow your tub to actually go over the snow drifts, you know, without bouncing, like kind of like a worm. And it saves a lot of equipment, and it'll save your shanty. Great investment, the hitch pivots. How you doing there, Lise? What do you got going on?
Well, I'm putting together this hitch. Just getting the bolt and the washers through.
My hands are in better shape than mine.
So far.
I just gotta make sure I brought you the right tools that fit.
Yep, I
Good
think
deal.
so.
That's good. You just want the end of that to pop out. You don't want to squish it together real tight.
I think we got it.
All right. In the words of Steve Kish, it doesn't look janky. So that's good. There's one part done. And if you want, you can start working on the pivots. Now those ones, you don't want to tighten them up super tight where you know, crunch the ears, because
Okay.
you want it to move. So you just gotta give it a little bit of a, there you go. Good. Keep going. Now we're gonna mount our seat, and I got my 9/32 drill bit. But what I want to show you again is these two holes, indentations right here. I don't know if you can see them or not in there, but those are pre-marked for your holes. In the old days, I used to have a piece of paper you put on here, but everything's pre-marked for your drill now. So you can make a pretty fast job of it, and everything is in the correct spots. We're going to do the same on this side. I clean the excess plastic off, just so my brackets sit tight on there. I'm gonna get the bolts, and I'm gonna bolt down my seat brackets. This is a little bit different than what the instructions call for. The instructions tell you to put this on the seat before you drill your holes and bolt it. Okay guys, so now we got our holes pre-drilled, and I do this a little different than the instructions. I actually mount my brackets before I put the seat on. The seat says to put your brackets on your seat and then install it. All right guys, so what we're gonna do is I got a stack of washers here. They're fairly large washers. And the bolts that go through for your seat, I am gonna stack washers, as many as I can tight, in between these two ears right here. Because what I get on the bay is with all the miles I put on, this shanty here is fairly tight. It doesn't slide back and forth. But I'll fill like a washer on each side, just your standard washer. I'll put one in just to take up that slop, because over time of banging back and forth, the threads of the bolt will cut away at that hole a little bit. So that's just something I do, and it helps my equipment last a lot longer. And it's kind of a bugger to do, but it's worth it. I'm gonna put 2 washers in here. And I'm gonna spread this. I'm actually spreading this little ear apart a little bit to get my washer in there. Now I don't want to tighten this nut up tight and squish them ears together. I filled the gap with my washers. I just want to hold my finger over that nut and just get it popping out. And that's plenty, because you get too much sticking out, your canvas is catching on it, you're prone to a rip, and we don't want that. Now I'm going to move to the other side and do the same thing. All right guys, now we're going to install our pull brackets. And they go right here. OTTER has your pre-drilled holes. And we're just gonna take our 5/16 drill bit, pop them holes, bolt these on quick, and then we can start working on our poles. Let's go right to our pre-drilled holes. Pop them out. And we're gonna set our brackets in there. And you can't mistake these brackets. There's one for each side. Let me grab my washers. Gonna get you flat washers so you have something to pull against. Put them on underneath there. Put your nylon lock nuts. And I'm just gonna snug these with the impact. I don't think you need them, you know, super tight, but you don't want them super loose neither. Just gonna give them a hit. That's good right there. We're gonna do the same thing down on this side. Give them a little snug. Color good. That side is done. Now, I'm gonna move this down onto the floor, so we're gonna have to cut away for a minute. All right, guys, so now we're gonna put our main frame together. We got our brackets installed, and OTTER's made it super simple. If you look in your book, it tells you you need a 9, a 10, and a 15 for the first pull on the main frame, for the middle, and they're all clearly labeled right there. And they've made it super easy for you. Everything snaps together now. You just take your main frame and just lock it together. That one's locked. Some of you guys, older guys, might remember back in the day, if you've been using OTTERs for a while, we used to have to put the little screws in. Well, they've made it a lot simpler, and it cuts a lot of time off also. So we've got our frames together, and we'll start putting it up. All right, so we got our poles put together according to the directions. Got them put on the hangers and the hinges, and we're gonna tighten them up in a second, but before we do that, I wanna take my 7/16 drill bit before we get too far and drill the back hole out for the back wind brace quick, and then we'll go to tightening them up. So, pretty easy to find. Back wind brace hole is done. We no longer need the drill. And I'm gonna go around and tighten these up. And same with these nuts as everything else that I've done. I just tighten them up until the threads come through the nylon lock nuts. I don't want them super tight. I don't like my fabric, you know, rubbing against stuff like that. So, just gonna give just a tap right there until that stud starts coming through. And as long as that's just poking through, that nylon lock nut is gonna hold it in place and not come loose. Perfect. And now we'll go to putting the canvas up.